meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals, Wednesday, January 12th at 7:03 p.m. This first part will be the organizational meeting. Oh, yeah. We're going to have some oaths here for the first part.
Mr. Zalesnik and Mr. Schaefer. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Dave Zalesnik.
Sorry, I'm going to read it now. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio and will faithfully discharge the duties of a Board of Zoning Appeals member or alternate for the Hinckley Township in Medina County, State of Ohio during my term on the Board of Zoning Appeals.
I do.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your service, and we appreciate you. This for the public's knowledge, at the meeting, the special meeting yesterday, it was our intent to make this board whole. That the trustees decided not to reappoint Julie Mainzer or Gary Wolney at this time, so that's why they are not in the meeting today. And Joe is virtual. Thank you, guys.
All right. Part of what we have is the new BZA organizational procedures, procedure for site inspection, and procedures for public hearings, and the decision form. Everybody should have got that packet. Oh, and I called them all. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Calabro has excused absence. Who?
Here.
Zalesnik.
Here.
Bud.
Here.
Schaefer.
Here.
In the audience are trustees Augustine and Asherle. Virtually is trustee Swedick, and in the audience also is zoning inspector Wilson.
All right. So these were passed out earlier and we had a chance to look them over. Is there anything, like if we take the first one, the Board of Zoning Appeals organizational procedures, the changes are highlighted or whatever are in the squares. And I looked at the old one, they're pretty close. There was just maybe some grammatical errors or anything on here. There's a line taken out about mailing and stuff, but anybody see anything different or need changing? Or I didn't either.
I did, but I didn't see anything.
Yeah. So I don't know, we need a motion to accept the first one, the Board of Appeals, organizational procedures, member and zoning secretary for the, do we need to read them? I don't know.
Well, if I remember correctly, I thought you would go through each,
Okay.
Number one, does anyone have any?
All right, number one, regular meetings. Second Wednesday of each month commence at 7 p.m., open to the public, may include a public hearing or special meeting when necessary. Number two, public hearings. Fourth Wednesday of each month commence at 7 p.m., open to the public. No hearings held the fourth Wednesday in December or Wednesday prior to Thanksgiving. May include a regular meeting when necessary. Note, notifications of meetings and hearings will be emailed to persons who request a notice by contacting the Township Administration Office through the public distribution process. 3, special meetings. Date to be determined on a need and by consensus and motion of the Board of Zoning Appeals at a public meeting or at the discretion of the chairman. They will commence at 7 p.m. or to be determined. Open to the public. Specific dates, time, date certain shall be announced at the meeting and noticed accordingly as follows in accordance with the Sunshine Law's Open Meetings Act. The notice for special meetings shall be advertised at a minimum of 24 hours prior to the meeting. The notice shall have purpose, which may include continued public hearing, regular meeting date, time, and location. Number 4, site inspections. See also number 11. We'll get to that one. Board members and zoning inspectors will meet at the town hall. Roll will be taken, public hearing opened and recessed. Inspection of properties will take place the Saturday prior to the hearing. Complete date along with application for variance or conditional use permit or appeal of zoning department ruling, along with the fee, must be filed with the Hinckley Township zoning secretary, zoning inspector by the 22nd of the month, prior to the month in which the hearing is to be scheduled. At the discretion of the chairman, a hearing may be scheduled on a date of regular meetings, provided complete data and detailed above is received by the zoning secretary and zoning inspector 28 days prior to the regular meeting. 6, all hearings on variances, conditional use permits, and/or appeals will be placed on the agenda for the next scheduled public hearing, the fourth Wednesday of each month, unless the Board of Zoning Appeals agrees to a different date. In the exercise of sound discretion, and zoning secretary, zoning inspector may reject any application unaccompanied by insufficient and incorrect document, or may hold the incomplete application until necessary information is provided prior to scheduling a hearing. Upon request, the zoning inspector and the zoning secretary and zoning inspectors will provide the Board of Zoning Appeal members the full information package provided by the applicant, along with any other documents that may be applicable. The zoning secretary and zoning inspectors will assist in the preparation of the presentation in support of the need of the application. Of conditional use, request, variance, or appeal of the zoning inspector's decision, and may offer a presentation at the public hearing or testify by the request of the chairman or members when appropriate. Number 9, applicants shall submit 9 copies of each application, all of the supporting documentation such as maps and drawings. Number 10, all the requests require a simple majority for a vote to pass or fail. However, if there are less than 5 board members present, the applicant will be given the opportunity to have the hearing reset when 5 board members are present and mutually agreed upon by the board and the applicant. If a legal advertisement contains unspecified requests for distance, variances, unspecified side yard setback request versus 30 feet side yard setback request, then the hearing, any subsequent request for a change in the distance of variance may be granted without additional advertisement or public hearing. Site inspection shall be conducted to comply with the applicable sunshine laws. If the board travels as a group to a site, the meeting must be opened and recessed to travel to the site. All conversation among and or including board members in that in any way pertains to the request that's generated the inspection shall be recorded. Time, place must be advertised. Or if the board travels as a group and absolutely no words are spoken on site regarding the application other than the general introduction and pleasantries, the site inspection observation shall be recorded upon return to the public hearing. Or each member drives individually to and from the site, and each inspection is conducted by members independently of other members. Traveling to and from the site inspection may be conducted singly or in a group of not more than 2 without record. The use of the Duncan factor shall be considered and weighed by the board in determining practical difficulty for each area variance. 14, if the board retires to chambers for private discussion, that discussion must be recorded in writing. 15, a majority vote is required for any request to pass or fail. A tie vote is a fail. A quorum of 3 members may hold a hearing. The applicant will be given the opportunity if he or she would like to reschedule when 5 board members will be present. The chairman will advise publicly when the minutes most likely will be approved. In our hearing procedures, we include disclose any ex parte communication, disclose any conflicts of interest, hearings for you or your immediate family members, you or your immediate family members having monetary interest or stand to gain dollars in the current or in the future, other reasons to excuse. If in doubt, disclose and review with the Board of Zoning Appeal members. Per Chapter 13 of the Hinckley Township zoning regulations, the Board of Zoning Appeals, BZA, reapproved for this procedure for the year of 2022. The chairman or board members designated is prepared to prepare the conclusion of fact as supported by the testimony and a majority vote. A board member or members of the minority vote may write a statement or statement as to why they dissent from the majority opinion. The conclusion of fact will include the name of those board members voting and their yes or no vote. At the conclusion of a hearing where a decision is rendered, the chairman will set a date to review and approve the hearing minutes and the conclusion of fact. Following each vote, the chairman will issue a conditional or variance decision form to the applicant or their representative. A copy will be given to the applicant or representative along with a copy of the legal notice. The original will be filed with the legal record. 23, after the hearing is decided, the chairman collects all notes and voting members taken during all site views, as well as all hearings and notations made in preparation for both. The chairman attaches a cover sheet detailing the name of the applicant, the hearing date, and hearing dates, staples all the papers and presents to the zoning secretary. The notes may be copied and given to the board members. The original notes will be given to the zoning secretary to be kept on file. Number 24, a third-party consultant may be utilized when the Board of Zoning Appeals chairman, members, and trustee liaison deem it necessary. See the zoning fee schedule. The zoning secretary, by direction of the trustee liaison, may notify members by email whose term is expiring by November 1st. In 26, the Board of Zoning Appeal members will, with expiring terms, need to notify the Board of Trustees in writing. Email is acceptable of their interest to serve as a zoning board member by November 15th. Public records policy. Established a Township Board of Zoning Appeals email addresses for each member and alternate. 28, at the attendance at the Board of Zoning Appeals and meetings and education seminars. Each member shall sign a sign-in sheet to confirm attendance. If attending virtually, trustee/BZA chairman or zoning secretary will confirm attendance during the roll call. The sign-in sheet shall be noted virtual for next to the member's name and initialed by the trustee or BZA chairman. Minutes will confirm attendance. If attending the educational seminars or an approved off-site meeting, and an attendance slip must be completed and turned into the zoning secretary to receive compensation. If the BZA chairman or member has been designated to attend a zoning commission or trustee meeting prior approval by the trustee liaison be given. All attendance slips must be completed and returned to the zoning secretary to receive compensation. So that's the procedures. So can we get a motion to accept the procedures?
I make a motion to accept as written.
All right, and a second?
Second. Yeah, either one.
Second, Bud. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. The second one we'll go over is the procedures. And this is Board of Zoning Appeals, BZA site inspection procedures for members. It is the position of the active members of the Hinckley Township Board of Zoning Appeals that at the time and when possible, that all board members meet at the Hinckley Township Administration Building, Township Town Hall, prior to the site inspection. Until advised otherwise by the Medina County Prosecutor Office or any other government authority, all board members will travel to the inspection site or sites in as few vehicles as possible. Each board member has been advised and fully understands that they are not to discuss any detail or aspect of the applicant's request with each other away from the public hearing. Note, the BZA members have determined that one or two vehicles parked on a narrow township or county roads is less of a safety hazard than 5 or 7 vehicles. Also, it is less of an imposition on the applicant and his parking facilities. At the appointed time, the BZA chairman calls the meeting to order. The chairman will, number one, note the time and date, the board members present, and the number of public members that may be present. 2, ask which public members present wish to follow the board to the site inspection. Advise those members of the public that they may observe only and that there is to be no questions of the board, the applicant, or his or her family. Remind each member of the public procedure to the inspection site that they will be on private property and be respectful. Make a mention that the public may review the documents the applicant filed with the Township Zoning Department to support his or her request during the posted business hours. The meeting is recessed with the time noted until the date of the initial hearing as advertised. The noted time and date of the inspection will be given to the zoning secretary to record in the minutes of the public hearing. And on the back, there's a
Sticky.
there was a site inspection detail form, who was there and that, and the chairman or whatever will fill that out during the site inspections. So I get a motion to accept those procedures of the inspections.
Motion to accept.
Okay, Bud, and second,
I go for the second.
Bill Schaefer on the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's.
I got one, well, I should have asked this before,
What's
but
it?
the site inspection detail form, it's got March 13th, 2019, but that's just the date of the original form, right?
Right, and I think nothing's changed on it.
Right. I just want to make sure. I was pretty sure that was it.
There'll be changes on the member list here, but then it's kind of a generic form.
Right. That's what I figured, but,
Okay. And the last one is the Board of Zoning Appeals Public Hearing Procedures, Conditional Variances and Zoning Inspector Appeals. Okay, the chairman calls the public hearing to order, noting the date and time. The chairman shall state this meeting is being taped for transcription purposes only, and the written minutes and attachments, if any, will serve as the official record of the meeting. Note, any board member who has a monetary interest or a conflict, including ex parte communication, should be disclosed now. The chairman shall ask the zoning secretary to call the roll. The zoning secretary shall record all attendees and present and public hearing for the record. The zoning secretary shall call the roll for the hearing and the roll for the site inspection. and inspection date. The zoning secretary shall read the legal notice of the hearing and verify that the notices were sent to the appropriate property owners. If fewer than 5 board members are present, the chairman shall offer the applicant the option to proceed without a full board or to reschedule the meeting before a full board. The chairman shall state the Hinckley Township Board of Zoning Appeals acts within the authority of Section 519 of the Ohio Revised Code and exercises its powers as provided under Chapter 7 and 13 of the Hinckley Township zoning regulations. All public hearings are open to the public. All persons wishing to testify must do so from the podium, must identify themselves and give their resident address, and must be sworn in. Evidence and testimony must be pertinent to the hearing. It is in the chairman's discretion to limit personal comments, personal attacks, opinion, editorializing, and or repetitious statements or testimony or evidence previously given. Disruptive persons will lose the right to remain at the hearing. Personal attacks won't be tolerated. The chairman shall state this hearing upon the application of blank, and it's for a variance from the enforcement of the Hinckley Township zoning resolution sections to properties owned by the applicant. Or this is a hearing upon the application of for a conditional zoning certificate. Or this is a hearing upon the application for an appeal of a zoning inspector's decision. The chairman shall state the applicant has submitted the application to the Board of Zoning Appeals, has also submitted the documents in support of his or her application, has submitted the following. Here the chairman reads the written submissions and describes maps, photos, and documents. The chairman shall make notice of application was properly given to the newspapers and or application has been available for public review and comment. I will now poll the Hinckley Township zoning secretary and ask whether he or she has received any documents that relate to the application. The chairman shall inquire, has the zoning secretary made a copy of each of the documents that he or she received that relate to the application? The chairman shall inquire, has the zoning secretary made any notation of non-written communications that he or she received that related to the application? The chairman will note that for the record that non-written communications made by known or unknown persons not under oath at the properly noticed hearing is not acceptable by the Board of Appeals as testimony. The chairman shall state each member of the Board of Zoning Appeals has been provided a copy of the application and copies of other documents submitted in support of his or her application, and will now poll each member of the Board of Zoning Appeals by asking them to respond yes if they have reviewed the contents of the application. The chairman shall note that the documents that relate to each application may include written communications from persons who are not present this evening and inquire, does the applicant or interested party object to any of these communications being included by the board as evidence? The chairman shall state written communications from persons not present this evening may include communications that are not made by affidavit. Because these communications are made by persons not under oath, they are not accepted by this board. I also note that written communications may include some writing by affidavit by persons that are not present and therefore cannot be subject to cross-examination. These affidavits therefore will not be given much weight, if any, in the decision of the board on this matter. The chairman shall state the board has the power to grant the applicant's request for variance or conditional zoning certificate or appeal of the zoning inspector's decision. The chairman shall inform those who wish to speak that they state their name, address, and interest before addressing the board. All testimony must be given at the podium. All comments must be directed to or through the board and not to other members of the audience. All questions or cross-examinations of the applicant will be done in this manner to maintain order. The chairman shall state all people that wish to give testimony will be sworn in individually, and ask each of you to stand, raise your hand, state your name, and repeat the words to be sworn in. Call the applicant's name, representative to the podium. Do you state your name? The chairman swears to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth as you answer under God. The chairman will ask for a confirmation of I do. The chairman calls the applicant or their representative to the podium and swearing in. The chairman shall, does the applicant have any additional evidence other than that is set forth in the application and the document submitted therewith to offer regarding special conditions that the applicant believes justifies the granting of the variance or conditional zoning certificate? The chairman shall ask the application if they were aware of the Hinckley Township zoning restrictions when they purchased the property. In each area variance, the Board of Zoning Appeals shall review and discuss the Duncan factors. After the discussion and before any vote, the chairman shall state any person adversely affected by the decision of the Board of Zoning Appeals, BZA, may appeal to the Court of Common Pleas in Medina County on the grounds such decision was unreasonable or unlawful. They have 30 days from the date of this meeting to appeal. The chairman shall move for formal resolution to define what is being decided for the applicant. The motion should be seconded and agreed by the voting members. Before the vote, the chairman shall explain the vote to the applicant. Yes, simple majority with a quorum present in favor of the applicant. No, simple majority or a tie vote denies the applicant's request. If the vote is favorable to the applicant, the chairman shall explain that the applicant has 1 year from the date of the hearing to begin construction or to act on his or her approved request. The chairman shall also state anybody adversely affected by this decision has 30 days from the date in which the minutes of the hearing are journalized to file suit. After the vote, the chairman and the zoning secretary will provide a copy of the decision and the approximate date that the minutes will be journalized to the applicant. For each hearing, the chairman shall or his appointee will write a summary of fact and submit it to the zoning secretary for the records. The summary should include the following information: the zoning regulations, how they apply to the request if it was accurate, the facts discovered during the inspection and or hearing, and the findings and the outcome of the vote. The summary will be written for both approvals and denials. The chairman shall request a brief recess and may complete the conditional or variance decision form. At the conclusion of all business before the board, a motion is made to adjourn, noting time and date. After a second, the zoning secretary records each member vote. After the vote to adjourn the hearing, the chairman collects the personal notes of all members of each hearing and site inspection. The chairman completes the Board of Zoning Appeals personal notes and submits the entire package to the zoning secretary.
Okay, a few things.
Okay.
First of all, right at the end of it, revisions accepted should be 2022 instead of 2020.
Okay.
Then I got a couple ticky-tacky ones here, but for consistency, on items number 10 and 11. Zoning should be inserted by the Board of Zoning Appeals. Each member of the Board of Appeals, Zoning Appeals.
Yeah.
Just for consistency, zoning was left out of both of those. See what I'm?
Yeah.
Like I said, it is just for consistency. Those are the only three that I caught right off the top of my head.
I got one. On number 6, in the paragraph, it says, here the chairman reads the written submission and describes maps, photos, documents. Normally, we have our secretary do that. So should we put in there chairman or secretary?
Okay, probably secretary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoning secretary.
Yeah. Zoning secretary, very good.
Okay. So I marked these on here, so if you need one, I'll give you this one. And so we have a motion to accept with the corrections as stated,
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Circle the ones that need to be changed. The only other one here was this Board of Zoning conditional variance decision form. It's the same as it was last year. This is the one that we'll fill out and give to the applicant that night so they can come in the next day or whatever and get whatever papers they need or decisions done. And it also shows when it passed or failed if they need to go to court or something. So that's just noted. I don't have anything else for the organizational. Any board members have anything?
No.
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 Yeah. So I call to adjourn the organizational meetings at 7:35, January 12th, Wednesday.
So moved.
Oh, take a, yeah, so, Bill, so moved, Bud second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So I guess we can go to the regular meeting so we can move along. And we have some minutes to review. The first one is
Do you want to open it up?
oh, yeah. I'm going to open the regular meeting, January 12th, Wednesday at 7:35 p.m. Can you call the roll?
Oop,
Here?
Lesnick,
Here.
Bud,
Here.
Schaefer,
Here.
and in the audience are trustees Augustine and Asherle, zoning inspector Wilson, and virtually trustee Sweattick.
All right. So we have some minutes to approve. The first one will take the regular meeting minutes of December 8th. Should have a copy of them, and they were emailed to us and everything. I didn't see anything different or anything out of whack on the first one of the regular meeting, December 8th.
Look good to me.
I want to go through these because I read them on my phone and I did notice a problem. So give me just a few minutes here.
Sure.
I know that either the word to or the next word, you should drop the yes.
Where are we at?
The to, well, that's the whole thing. I'm trying to find it.
Are we on the regular meeting?
The December 8th one.
I'm not 100% sure. That's why I want to look at it now.
Something to do with the two?
Yeah, well, it was to, and then say the word copies. And, but, two's, T-O, so it wouldn't be like two copies as a number. And then the next word had an S. And we should either drop the two or drop the S on the word to have it read properly. And if I remember, it was towards the end of one of the paragraphs. And the whole thing is, I don't remember since it was earlier that I, read it.
It was probably me speaking. I don't speak English well.
Yeah, that's why I don't talk.
It might have been in the hearing.
Yeah. I don't remember what the second word was. It'd make it a lot easier if I did. But if I don't find it, it's not the worst of things.
Is this during the testimony or are you not sure?
I just really don't remember. And as a fast glancing through there, I can't find it. But like I said, it's nothing super critical.
Okay.
I mean, you would know exactly what was said. It's just that grammatically, you just have to do one of the two. And for something grammatical, I don't think it's a big deal.
No, I don't either. All right, well, for the regular meeting on December 8th, get a motion to accept these minutes.
I mean, make a motion to approve as written.
Dave, and a second.
Second.
Second is Schaefer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So that passed. I'm going to send this one around to get signed. And the second minutes are the drug mart hearing. I kind of looked at them online if we want to look again real quick, but I didn't see anything that stood out at me.
Yeah, I looked at them online also and I didn't see any major, there might have been a couple minor things in there, but I didn't see anything
I can
that,
read right over those.
Yeah. nothing that didn't make sense.
Sheriff Waddle just texted me that we can approve a petition on minor grammatical.
Okay, I thought we could, yeah. Well, this drug mart hearing is actually a two-part hearing. The first part was for, to allow the drug mart to be there, and the second part was to allow them to have a drive-up window. So we'll have to like accept them as like hearing number one and probably hearing number two.
Probably reading right over it.
Yeah, I was looking for it. I couldn't see anything.
And the more I think about it, I think it had to do with the drive-through.
Okay.
Okay, let's see.
And I know I'll go home.
And then find it right away.
Yeah.
And it'll stick out like a sore thumb. So I'm fine with approving them, and then if
Okay.
find it that we can change it. Like I said, it's just grammatical. It's
All right.
not going to change the meaning of anything.
Make a motion to accept the public hearing number one minutes as read tonight.
So move.
Dave, in a second.
Second.
Bud, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So hearing number one passed, and I'll send that around to get signed. Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's on the December 22nd meeting.
Which page?
It would be page 11 of 12.
No, I haven't got there yet.
1, 2, 3, 4, fourth paragraph. Second to last line. And it says the condition added that it will be contingent on the site plan to conforms or changes made to conform. And I think that the word to should be removed and it should say site plan conforms, or you leave the word to and it says the site plan to conform or changes made. And I think it reads better with getting rid of the to.
Where was that again?
Right here. Where'd it go? To conforms.
Oh, okay.
Contingent on the site plan to conforms or
Okay.
changes made to conform. So what he's saying is site plan to conform,
I say, yeah, the site plan conforms.
or the site plan conforms, you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, get rid of the word to.
All right, so I'll make a motion for public hearing number two to be accepted as discussed.
So move.
Schaefer,
Second.
second Bud. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, this is two there. All right, we have a public hearing on January 26, 2022 at 7 p.m. Site inspection January 22nd at 10 a.m. at the town hall. There's two variances. We just got the packages tonight. A Baker variance, AP 0260, and a Hinckley Land Holding LLC variance request, Reserve Pine Valley, AP 0261. And we will have those to review, and so our next regular BZA meeting will be February 9th at 7 p.m. to get signed minutes and do stuff like that. Anything else?
No. I don't have anything.
No, I don't either. So make,
I just report to the board
okay.
that today we received a revised site plan from Mart, and they have changed it so there's room for 6 cars for our code at the drive-through. So they won't be coming back for a variance because they made that change.
Oh, okay. Good. So that's,
Yeah.
we're done with that then.
Yeah. It'll go to zoning commission next for their preliminary hearing.
Right. Okay.
Okay. All right, and make a motion to adjourn the regular meeting at 7:49, January 12th.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Adjourned at 7:49.